Up next, we have Nick Buddingh returning to the summit, representing Sendcloud today. He's joined alongside Maarten Brondijk, who's supply chain manager at Jimmy Joy. And I think Jimmy Joy, interesting fact that they started 6 years ago together. And they are serving complete nutritious meals throughout all of Europe. And they grew rapidly, so they will explain on how they did it together. So give them a warm applause, please, Maarten and Nick.
Cool. Thank you. For this.
I think we have the wrong slides.
Oh, okay. This is nice. Okay.
There we are. Nice, thanks, Ask Phill. First of all, that we can be here as guests. Thank you all here at this lovely venue. I'm Nick. I'm partner manager at Sendcloud, and we make shipping as easy as possible via a shipping platform. But it's not about me today or Sendcloud. It's more about Maarten and Jimmy Joy, right?
Right.
And introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Also, you, Nick.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here. So I'm Maarten from Jimmy Joy. What we do is, our mission is to shake up the food system. We do that by providing healthy, sustainable, complete meals in bar, shake, drink, and all kind of new forms. And today we will talk about how we do it in Europe.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Maarten, because I know you're living in Malta. You took a flight to be here.
Even that.
And I think you're also looking forward to the after party later on.
Always.
Before we continue, our talk is really short. It's more about, how does this adventure started? Because it's a Dutch entrepreneur, crazy right, and they're now serving their delicious meal all over Europe and maybe even further than Europe, right? That's a little surprise. We help them a bit with the shipping part, later about that in the talk. Please tell me, Maarten, because I'm a bit worried when I see those pictures. Please confirm it's not a bag of drugs.
I am quite sure I took the correct picture, so it's not the bag of drugs. No, that's our first meal made by our founder Joey in 2014. And a small basket next to it is oil. So to provide a completely nutritious meal, he also had to add oil, which we then didn't have yet in a powder form. So he had to scoop some different looking powder, scary, with some oil to make a complete meal. And of course it's changed now. But he started all of this, Joey, in 2014 when he was working hard. He was an artist, so making paintings and that kind of art. And all of a sudden, of course, after working for hours and hours, you become hungry and had no time to prepare a meal. And instead of always eating fast food, he thought like, okay, we can do it a bit more healthy. So then he started with nuts, spinach, just all of the healthy stuff, put it in the blender, which of course tasted horrible. And then with help of the internet and his own research, he found that he could actually provide a better meal while still complete nutrition, fast, and fast forward 8 years later, we shipped 30 million of the meals to over 150 customers in 88 countries.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the branding also changed a bit.
Yeah, you got a full product range of cool stuff, right? And I know for a fact you have only one art director, right? He's painting that.
Yeah, so it's
out of his hand. That's pretty cool. But 88 countries, man. Tell me, what is the most crazy country a shipment went to? What you never expected?
Yeah, so I like to export or orders from Sendcloud or from our Shopify store, and then sometimes there's some weird country pops up, and 1.5 year ago, I saw this tiny island next to Australia. So on the right-hand side, underneath the Solomon Islands, New Caledonia, there was an order. Never heard about it, but
Could that be Jack Sparrow or who is
who
it?
knows? Who knows? I didn't check in, but
Yeah,
it's quite
great.
cool to ship
Yeah.
to those things.
Hey, and what about shipping, man? Because I'm really curious about what the impact is. I know the speed of delivery matters, the customer journey. People are getting more and more critical. People are used to consume via platforms like Flink, with just hitting one button.
Yeah.
What is the importance and impact of shipping, just to start?
Yeah, of course, as most people here know, if you have a shop, the shipping also reflects to your own company. So we provide those meals, we want them easy, quite fast, and that should also reflect in your shipping. So if your shipping is not easy or living up to expectations, that will reflect negatively on your company as a whole. So yeah, that is super important for us. That's why we listen to the customer. If they have suggestions or anything to change shipping methods, we will see what is possible for that, while maintaining, of course, low cost. Because people are quite used to not pay for shipping. So there's always this distinction. Do they want to pay for it?
You're doing quite some research, right? And asking feedback from your ambassadors, I think it's a great tip, right? But if we go a bit more in depth, Maarten, what about Germany? Because I know there are a lot of fashion brands, lifestyle brands, and I think, yeah, Germany is crazily busy, right? It's 90 million people, e-commerce is booming, it's next door. How do you deal with this? And I see a number, 98.
Yeah, it's a beautiful number. It's, of course, it is the number of shipments we did in Germany from 2019 until 2021. So that grew over 89%, which is incredible. But yeah, we first started that with a different company. It's called, of course, DPD, and it was all right, and mostly because
cheap.
It was cheap. I did the whole Europe under one contract, basically. So they were quite happy with us, but our German customers were a bit less happy with that shipping method. So over and over we got the complaint, you cannot deliver to Packstation, which is a very important thing in Germany. Mm-hmm. So then fortunately found a nice way, even with injection, which we will come up later, I think. Now we ship with DHL, which was also one part of how we realized the beautiful 98% growth.
Yeah, crazy.
Part, of course, shipping.
Yeah, you see that with payment, but also with shipping, right? Like, for example, Germans, they make decision based on trust. In PayPal is really important to offer that. For the Netherlands, ideal. But if you look at shipping, it's really important that you either offer DHL or Deutsche Post, right? And you experience that with your own eyes and hands, right? With the conversions and the growth numbers.
Exactly, yeah.
What about Brexit? Because Boris Johnson fucked us over. No. What happened post-Brexit?
Well, Brexit is still a small trauma for us, so it almost hurts to talk about it. But finally, yeah, we can talk about it because there were some solutions implemented. When Brexit started, it was of course just before Christmas, which was a horrible Christmas gift. And we found out that most carriers were not really ready to implement those new things like EHS codes, AORI number. Yeah. How do you align the AORI number on your shipping label without putting all the custom papers on the package? That was a huge pain for us. So resulted in more than 3, 4, 5 pallets that were all returning. And the UK is also in the top 5 of our most shipped countries. So that was terrible. Started, of course, directly looking at new solutions while putting contact with DPD. So then we found UPS, which had their own customs clearance. That's quite helpful. But they were bit too expensive for our liking. Mm-hmm. And then finally, FedEx saved us. We were able to implement FedEx cross-border. together with Sendcloud, which was great. And now we ship with FedEx, and we regain some market in the UK. FedEx has their own customs clearance, and we ship within 3 days, up to maximum 5 days now.
Man, that's pretty fast, right? If you look at the UK, because yeah, what you see, they just hold you at the border, right? They are extra strict.
Yeah.
You need and I think that's why it's so important to figure out a way where you can optimize a shipping method where you automatically have a commercial invoicing, so you won't get stuck at the border and you are there quickly, because I think we all know that the speed of delivery is quite important to buy another time at that store. I already see the logo Buddingh Nordics. I know there's a high demand for same next day delivery. They are a new player on the market. They shake the carrier landscape quite up. They're from the Nordics. What about the Nordics? What are you doing over there?
Yeah, so mostly the Nordics for us is Sweden and Finland and our shipped countries. And what we found out there was also DPD put it over to PostNord, and PostNord is great, it's cheap, but it is mostly cheap. So you don't have all the perks, like the extra steps they do, Buddingh does for their customers. So real-time tracking in the last miles. So half an hour before you get your shipment delivered, you have a Uber-like tracking, which I thought that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Let's try it out. Besides that, they're also carbon emission free, which reflects on our company quite well. And on the Nordics, mostly in Sweden, where we were growing anyway, they gained some market share. They started there as a native Swedish company, so they also built some trust. And it's nice to have more than one solution for shipping per country.
Yeah.
So there's an extra addition. And it was also the start when we implemented evening deliveries for our own shipments in the Netherlands.
Yeah, I even know that they have an option in that app, like, hey, please don't knock on the door or please knock on the door, don't ring the bell because my baby's sleeping and I have a big fight with my wife. So I think it's great to see that the whole customer experience, you can take it to the next level if you make sure that you outline your carriers with all the different expectations, right? Spanish people are different than us.
Yeah, but of course with Buddingh you have to watch out a bit. No, they're fine, they're nice.
Okay.
They are growing so fast that it's almost hard for them to keep up with the pace of growing. Yeah. They also are going to merge with Instabox, of course, and that's why we're also testing trunkers there on the site, which you can also see. Of course, on the screen we have 4 carriers now in the Netherlands.
Yeah, that's just a small selection, right? What we discussed, and I think it's when you see us at the bar, grab a bar. There are some nice Jimmy Joy bars at the bar. If you want to know more about, I don't know, PostNL, but also something I want to ask, like we talked a shitload about Europe. What about the States, right? Because I think for a lot of fashion players, lifestyle players, the States is still undiscovered. It's hard to come there. It's sometimes a bit of a strange country when you look at the news. But can you share us some classified, juicy details? What are you guys are doing there and how?
No, it's within the everything that's outside of the NDA. I can share for sure.
Yeah.
But no, we're in all our countries shipped. The US is also in the top 5, but it's still hard. So. Some years ago, we started shipping to the US because we still do that, deliver all over the world. That's why the 88 countries come from. We make our products ourselves in Amsterdam still. So we shipped just a box to the US, which was quite expensive. Now we changed that. We ship containers to the US to our third-party logistics providers, and then they ship to the customer. But that's still quite expensive. So it's a challenge, but we have to look into the margins. But it's working out now. So we want to have market share there. We want to maintain our market share and have some. Later, maybe we can put some more operations there. But now we do have stock over there.
But without an e-fulfillment partner, it's not.
At the moment,
possible.
Yeah, it's just lower bar. We are still bootstrapped, so. yeah, it's not. We have this to lower the bar to enter the US. So now we only have to provide stock, which is already quite a lot of value that you ship there. We have 2 fulfillment locations, so one in the East Coast, one in the West Coast, to provide the whole US without paying too much. But that's of course already a lot of value that you put there in the US. So
I think it's nice to have a chat with you later, right? Well, how is this all possible in detail? I see we have 10 minutes left, so let's look at the last 2 things. We're going to talk a bit more, real short, about lead times. I think speed of delivery is the biggest checkout lever when you look at e-shoppers, right? Cost and then the speed of delivery. I see a whole map, really interesting, but tell me a bit more. For example, the Germany, you told me, how do you do that within a day in Germany?
yeah, speed is a little bit less important for us because we have food with a long shelf life. It's not that you provide something that is broken that needs to be replaced like same day, but we are heading more towards that direction because the whole market is heading there and people expect things still. And the nice thing about Germany is that I found a possibility, or we found a possibility, to have injection straight into the DHL system. So
how's that working?
Yeah, so
Injection?
So what happens?
Sounds like
yeah.
What happened?
So you're a bit on drugs today.
Yeah. I'm improvising, man.
Yeah, so the injection is quite cool. It's a bit different, but so what happens? We provide all our shipments. We pack that, put on different pallets for Germany shipments. Truck comes in the evening. This is over a third party, not DHL directly. They drive overnight, evening, directly to the first DHL logistic warehouse, and then next day they can ship it already. They provide it overnight. I think they how do you call it? They spread it out over all the DHL warehouses in Germany. And sometimes, of course, it still takes 2 days, but mostly it's next day already available at the location.
And like, interesting question, are you then also paying for local DHL rates from the Netherlands?
Yeah, that's of course the most important part from my end. Having both, the fast but mostly cheap. Yeah. So we can pay local prices because DHL is only taking care of that last part. Yeah.
I'm really curious, but we don't have the time. How you coming to Spain within 2 to 3 days? Please explain me later.
All right.
Let's jump to the next subject, the last subject, and then we're gonna move on to the Q&A, key takeaways. Returns food. Why? Because I know in fashion, still I see a lot of merchants that you almost need to fax back or do all traditional ways to get a return. Yeah. Your vision, I know it's way different. Make it frictionless as possible. Why?
That's the idea. That's the idea because we offer 100% guarantee, no question to ask. Why do we do that? Of course, if you order food online, and we are then also lucky that it's not fresh food, it has a long shelf life. But if someone orders food online, first thing they think about it, or customer, if I go online, do I actually like, or do I like the taste? Do I actually gonna like what I'm ordering here? Therefore, we say, we are sure you like it, or not. But then you send it back, and we will provide you 100% money back. Even if you ate your first bar, you can still have your money back because we guarantee that we offer good value for money. And that just is frictionless checkout. That's mostly it.
Just the last question, how are you doing that? I know it's with Sendcloud.
Yeah, you know it's with Sendcloud.
Please drop it.
Yeah, so as you see, we have the beautiful branded checkout by Sendcloud.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay.
No, most of the times they first ask in our customer care, and then the customer care shares our return portal, which you can see here. Fill in a postcode, track and trace of their previous order, and the new label is generated. And then mostly is contact with customer care, but people can also, I don't like it, what am I going to do? And then return or not. and then they can select why they want to return it. So we can also check what happened. Always, of course.
So it's also having a big impact on your like whole customer care.
Yeah, it's mainly customer care, but we are very fortunate to not have that many returns. Of course, it's not something you can or cannot fit, like fashion. It's still food, so people don't often think about returning, unless they really dislike it, and they can also return it, always.
I think it's important for everybody, right? If you see the conversion drop you have on the front end, it's huge, right? You see that from some research we did under 8,000 e-shoppers that 70% of the people leave the web shop when there is not a frictionless return way because, especially in fashion, the chance that the jeans or the sweater is not fitting, it's quite huge. I saw somebody waving. We got 5 minutes left. That means, quickly, let's before we jump to the Q&A, some key takeaways about this story.
Yeah, for us, speed is less important than expectations. Of course, you have to say and then do it. That's way more important for our company than having a speedy delivery. That's also, we want to oversell it a bit. So sometimes, even now, we say we have it next day, and then some orders that are ordered in the morning with Dutch orders, we can have delivered at your doorstep already the same day, so that's extra. You can do the extra, and especially with the Brexit, we were promising things we could not match due to shipping errors. So that's the most important thing, and then also the same with the lead times. What lead times are you offering, and can you match those expectations? And we have a lot of value from feedback from our customers. We handle feedback in tasting issues or new flavors, but we also do that with new carriers, shipping options, solutions. So that works really well. And lastly, the returns in food are so important. If you have food like ours, do I like it? I don't know. Let's order it and find out. So that works really well.
Thanks for sharing, Maarten. I think this is the talk. We are here the whole day, the whole night. I think there's an after party with Juni. So after some beers, we even talk more.
Feel free to enjoy a plenty bar at the bar. While they're still there. So
that was it, guys. Any questions from the audience? Kelly, got the thing?
Oh, there it is.
Nice. Oh, there's.
I don't have a question. I just have the button.
I see. There's a question.
Oh, sorry.
It's quite far.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wanna go?
Nice.
Nice.
Hi.
Hi.
You were just talking about offering free returns no matter what, right?
Yeah, basically.
Can you tell me about the possible increase in conversions that brought? Like, what did the test say? Did you actually get more conversions, and what about the return rate? Did that drop or stay similar?
Yeah, the nice thing, I know mostly that the return rate didn't really change. So people still, when they buy, they're still, I bought food, let's try it. Or often we say, if they don't like it, give it to someone else. Of course, that's also better for our branding. It depends on where it is. If it's in the Netherlands, you can ship it back, we can resell it. On conversion, it's not really my department, but I can imagine if I'm looking online that it makes sure it doesn't increase maybe conversion. I think it does, but it doesn't decrease it for sure, because that's one of the most asked questions before in our customer care. They are always asking, can I buy a sample? And now you can overcome that whole sample part by saying, like, if you don't like it, you can return it. And then you saw that customer buying it instead of asking for samples. So in that case, yes, it did increase, but I don't know about percentage-wise.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
There's another one. Let's throw it.
Nice catch.
Everybody trained here.
So you talked extensively about different shipping carriers.
Yeah.
Have you ever experimented with or thought about giving your customers the option to select their favorite carrier, so offering multiple at the same time?
Yeah, so in the Netherlands you can select, you can choose your own out of 4. And yeah, different per country, but we have that selection on. Still, people do really like for instance, in the Netherlands, they want to have a PostNL delivery location. You can select it, so yeah, we do offer that.
You're experiencing also, you're trying out
Yeah.
trunkers, right? Same
Yeah.
next day delivery?
Yeah, same day, but we offer it as late checkout, for example, now. And then you have the DPD, PostNL, and underneath is also trunkers. You can just choose, and then in the checkout method is standing, it's a description. Before 23:59 ordered is next day in house. So you can select, you do a one evening delivery or daytime delivery. So we do offer that, yes. Thank you.
Hi. You talked about the fact that people could try it at home and then send it back, right?
Well, that's not the main idea, but
how
instead,
does it work?
but when you offer 100% return guarantee with no questions, that is in theory what you can do. Yeah, you can try it and send it back. Of course, we don't offer it. We're not going to send that customer the same again, and then they can send it back and then return. But
Right.
you can try it and then send it back if you don't like it. Yeah.
But how can they try it and then send it back? Because then it's open, right?
Yeah. Of course, they don't send back their open packages, but we do refund them.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So. Yeah.
I see you work together with Thuisbezorgd. Are you also planning to work together with marketplaces like bol.com, Amazon, and also other retail companies, or is that not in strategy?
Yeah, we are in the Albert Heijn with 4 of our products. So we are in retail, and we are also on Gorillas, available on Gorillas. But marketplaces is a whole different topic. We did try Amazon, we did try bol.com, didn't really meet our needs, so to speak. And it's, yeah, I don't know if it's the ambition now, but we tried it. It was not very positive on our end. They take up a lot of margin. But we do want to increase availability like retail, Gorillas and that kind of stuff. Make it so easy to order from everywhere, anywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
So my question is this all possible through Sendcloud to choose all the different providers, or is this something you just implemented yourself?
No, that's the great thing about Sendcloud.
Hey, you can tell. No.
No, so we have our web shop is Shopify. It's connected with the Sendcloud app, and in Sendcloud you can select, you can switch on and off carriers, load in your own contracts, and in your Shopify environment in shipping, you can select the options you want to put per country. So you make a new shipping rate. For instance, if we are testing trunkers, I add the shipping rate trunkers, and then that data goes to Sendcloud. Sendcloud app pushes it back to the checkout, and then it's an option for shipping.
And then you have to pay a rate to Sendcloud to organize that, or how does that work?
No, there's a basic fee, just a business fee with Sendcloud, but for carrier-wise, we all have our own contracts.
Yeah. So there's a little subscription on our side. You can bring your own contracts, and we're actually like a gateway to Europe, with all the carriers connected in one environment, and you can tweak some stuff and Shopify on the front end to match that, and it makes life easier.
It does, and Sendcloud is of course the software use, so it's a software as a service which you pay a small fee for. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.